The EV war is heating up, or is it winding down? Is it just getting started, or is it over? And who won, who lost, and who's about to find out? I suspect you all are. Brian, welcome to Futuraza.
What's up, everybody? Nice to see you all here in the studio in Constance, where I'm located at. And Brian, maybe you want to tell the audience what's going on.
Well, what's going on is just this week we've got a little thing we're going to, the Tesla takeover in Europe, and it's going to be a fantastic event. We've talked about it a whole lot, but the big news is we're also very close to Zurich right now. I think I said Zurich a minute ago. This is in Austria.
Yeah.
This is in Austria, but we're near Zurich. If you're near Zurich and you have too many lunches and wish to get rid of one or two, I know some handsome young men who would like to have them.
Yeah, please.
They're very tired and punchy. So what I wanted to talk about is EV adoption is a lot bigger here. It's one of the places where it's strongest. China would be number one.
Yeah.
Europe would be number two.
Mm-hmm.
And almost off the bottom of the chart, in third place would be, I guess, the U.S. I don't know. But let's take a look at this. This is from Clean Technica. You can see this is the adoption rate by year. And if you actually go down a bit more, you'll see that it's even more aggressive in certain countries.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers are still trending. And now this one goes out into projections into the future. If we go down here some more, we see these are the actual numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some pretty exciting stuff.
Yes.
Except for one exception here. What country's that?
This is Germany. And
What happened?
Yeah.
There was some changes. What happened?
So as you can see it kind of started to dip at middle of 2020 kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But the main dip that we've noticed is, of course, that it dipped when also the incentive was cut. That was a huge one, because then you couldn't get 4,500 off. I mean, it was earlier, but still, the trend really cut down deeply there.
Really accelerated.
Yeah, because also many people tried. So we had in 2020, we had 2021, 22, we had many early adopters of EVs, and people who are loyal to the German brands, for example, tested out how is an ID3 doing? What about an ID4? Let's test that. And they bought one, and maybe they thought after they used it and had to go to service to do a software update that
that the trend dialed back a little.
Yeah, because EV buyers that are very strong or people who are very attached to their brand, for example, VW, when they switch over or think, okay, the ID3 wasn't good, they're going to switch over back to an internal combustion engine car, or maybe BMW or a hybrid BMW or something like this. So they switch the brand but stay in Germany kind of, and they would never test a Tesla kind of. Yeah, so
let's check out BMW.
Mm-hmm.
BMW just hit a major milestone, and this is an article from just last month.
Mm-hmm.
As electric vehicles surge, outpacing rivals. So BMW, it looks like it's doing all right. They delivered 82,700 fully electric BMW Mini, and does that say Rolls-Royce?
Yeah.
Did you know that that's out?
What? No.
I didn't know it was out. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
But we've got a few slides that'll cover that. How's BMW doing? Do you have any confidence there?
Yeah, I would say so. So many people like BMW, the brand, the sportiness. It's still a very strong brand in Germany. And I think to tackle BMW, it's important to go into the sportier segment. And there's where the Model 3 performance version now comes in, because that's where they kind of look at, because BMW has a special stance in Germany as the
ultimate driving machine.
Yeah, it's a race. Most of them, or many of them, have a racing suspension, and they're very made for racing kind of. There are normal ones, of course,
sure.
but
the M tuning.
That's a brand image that they also have, like the sportiness. And now with the Model 3 Highland Performance, they tackle that a little bit. And I've seen many tests already with the Model 3 performance that Germans did, and they say, "Oh, yeah, now it's changing something because
Getting a little serious.
yeah."
So this video could be days long if we wanted, but let's go through some of the. Now this is on alternativefuelsobservatory.ac.europe.eu.
Yes.
Catchy.
Yes,
That's
pretty
a catchy one.
Yeah.
Well, what we've got is a whole lot of cars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the U.S., we've seen these, well, not an Abarth. What is an Abarth? I mean, it's a 500e. That's a Fiat, right?
Yeah. That's the performance version of a Fiat, actually.
They got a separate brand.
The Italians want to drive in their serpentines, the small roads, with a sporty car, and guess what? No other car could fit. So that's why they have this kind of category, actually.
We've got the iWays U5.
Yeah, that sounds not familiar at all. It's a I think a Chinese brand, if I'm not mistaken.
For sure.
Yeah, and
another iWays, which is okay. Then you get into like the Audis. And by the way, whoever photographed these, those are beautiful, beautiful shots. But you've got quite a few. The e-tron, of course, but then you've got the Quattro, or the Q4, I guess. You've got a few different models here.
Mm-hmm.
These, I've never seen the Q8, but I have seen others of these on the road. Are these popular?
Yeah, so they are popular because people who, again, brand loyalty, people who like Audi want to have an e-tron for the French, but let's not translate.
Yeah.
Google that, what that means. But so what changed now with Audi is that the Audi uses now the platform of Porsche, actually. And and that's where kind of they changed, because many people who
and these are made on the same line as the Taycan.
Yeah, and that's very important here, because now the people who are switching over or wanting to have or switching over from a e-tron before, they will be getting the newer e-tron that is, of course, on the new platform. That's the main thing, because Porsche did a great job with their platform. So this is pretty competitive, because before it had issues. It had many issues. So yeah.
And what you get with that is a big cost savings and better engineering.
Of course, yeah.
Economies of scale don't kick in until you hit a certain number, and that might be 10 or 20,000 a month. You will never hit that with one of those by themselves, but together you're going to get real close. So again, we could do this for days, but we're just now getting to the BMWs. That's a good lineup. I mean, that is, the same car 3 times, but then you've got the i5, the i7 some more, iX, the M60 there on your side. That's what I got to drive in Vancouver. There's a lot of electric BMWs. Now, are these all electric, or are some of them hybrids? Because these look like this is just for all electrics.
I think those that are listed here are just electric, if I'm not mistaken.
But some of them do have hybrid counterparts.
Yeah. Some variants of the models have. Yeah.
Which, the sooner you get away from that, the more money you're going to save. Stop trying to make one car do everything. But again, we're still in BMW. Now we get down to the BYDs. Do you see many of these on the road?
No, not at all.
Actually. They had, last I saw, something like 1% of the market, which is surprising considering how affordable some of these models are. Now people really love to say, here's what I really want, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Market research has already shown what you want. That's why no one offered it to you last year. Yeah. And now that it's available, you're still not asking for it. It's like the people say, I want a cell phone that gets me 5 days of battery life. They sell those. Why didn't you buy one? Well, because they're $800 and the size of a brick.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but there's some good looking, like the Seal. I like it. I think that's a good looking car. The Dolphin, I get it. But who am I to talk? I drove a minivan. Long time.
Yep. So the Seal is all right, I would say. I think the Han is a little bit better if you go up a little bit.
Right there in the middle.
I think that's a little bit more my taste, but because I don't like those invents that they have down there. They could make that more minimalistic, in my opinion. So
It's a choice.
it's but it's okay. I think that from the build quality from the outside looks good. The interfaces inside, I'm a little bit. I want to have more refined stuff like that.
So now we're getting into the stuff that Americans, we haven't seen a Citroen on the road in the U.S. for 50 years, if ever. I'm sure we've seen them at some point. This is not a contemporary brand in North America.
Yeah.
Or at least not in the middle of North America. How are these received?
So they are pretty common here, the brand itself. So this means, of course, the EV variants of those will be sold here too, especially with Renault, for example. I mean, Citroën is a very niche brand here as well, but especially Renault, with the Renault Twizy, they were very early with EVs, but and people bought them. People bought them, a small city car. I mean, we also have the Smart car, the Smart, and the Smart electric version is also, it's also pretty popular as well. Then, so I think it's a good French brand here, the Citroën as well. But I would argue that they're not as good.
So what happened was, I said, "Oh, look, there's a Seat and a Skoda," and he goes, "Yeah, the Skoda is a pretty good car." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I saw a smart car that was a 4-door version. I was like, "Did you see that smart car?" And he got joy out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this smart car. You pronounce it more German than any German on the planet, probably. So Citroën, but again, I think I'm not trusting the platform as much. I want to see long-range tests, and you can also see that the range is pretty low.
Minimal.
Yeah, very minimal, but for city driving or for transporting inside of the city or for electric engineer, or how they called electricians. I mean, that's a good car to get around the cities to transport some stuff. But and we need a van category here in Germany and Europe. That would be a total game changer, I would say.
So with this van here, we're seeing 46.3 kilowatt hour battery pack, which means it's going to be light.
Yeah,
it's going to be inexpensive compared to if you doubled it.
Yeah.
So you're going to save 500, 800
Yeah,
pounds.
the problem is you cannot, as a business here, you don't make as much money that you can afford a 100K car just to transport stuff around. It has to be below 50,000, and that's also a huge fact. That's why the price is the problem here. Yeah,
I see. So as the reason the range is constrained isn't because people don't want it.
No.
Or they couldn't afford it. It's because the tax code incentivizes the business.
No, not the tax code. I mean, the price of the car needs
just
to be
price.
below. Yeah, because then people would just buy a gas car or a used transporter that they use until it falls apart. So,
they do have a 68 kilowatt hour version, which is a little better, but this is a big form factor to have a battery smaller than a Model
but
Y.
still, if you also look at, for example, the VW ID Buzz, for example, that's also something that Germans like, this kind of category, the van category. That's why it was a good move from VW to actually do it. But the problem is that if you compare the pricing to the hybrid version of this car, so not the ID Buzz, but the normal T5 or whatever that is, the hybrid one, the multivan or whatever it's called, that one is way cheaper. Like it's like 15% cheaper, and also in when you use it or when you drive around with the gas cost in comparison to the electricity cost that you have with the car. So the ID Bus isn't as enough efficient to really be a good category. That means the van category isn't cracked right now.
It feels like that might be a decision they did on purpose, to keep you in dyno burners a little longer?
I don't know. I think they can't do it because they would do it if they could.
Then we've got Cupra. Who owns Cupra?
Cupra is owned by VW, and it's actually Seat. It was Seat before, so they rebranded it. Seat is a Spanish brand that we had in Europe, but now it's Cupra. I
think that's a better name.
Yeah, it might be a better name, but
than Seat.
yeah, Seat for in the US, so Cupra. Yeah,
And what do we got here?
that's a Renault actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Dacia is a subsidiary or the cheaper brand of Renault.
Or as James May calls it, Dacia.
Dacia, yeah, Dacia Spring Electric. Yeah.
Now, worth noting is we just finished page 1. There are 6 pages. We are not going to get through them all because this, again,
I talk too much.
well, that's what you're here for.
Okay.
This would take days. A question for you guys as we continue on, because we got a little bit left to go, is how badly do I need a new background? Because now that I've got an opportunity to borrow Jan's studio, Jan from Tesla Fix, do check him out, link in the description. It makes my studio look like a bad haircut, which is what my haircut also does to my head. So let me know what you think. And you could even suggest a background because I have looked at a million backgrounds and I don't have an eye for it. Clearly. So we've got everyone's favorite, the DS3 E-Tense. What a catchy name.
Yeah.
And the Ego E-Wave X.
Yes.
I feel like you named them the same way the resellers do on Amazon.
Yeah. yeah. I never heard of the Ego E-Wave X. Because,
it's very cool.
Yeah.
But I've definitely never seen one on the road.
Yeah, and I don't know. And what's interesting is what would be interesting for me, that's just a list of the cars that are available, but how much did they sell? That's
3.
Yeah.
Maybe 0.
Yeah.
It could be 0.
Yeah.
Elaris, BEO 86. No. Oh, look, it's a actual Fiat.
Yeah, that's an.
By the way, these I think look real fun. We saw one out today. I saw one out today. I think you were with me.
They're also very popular. This category.
Especially in a town like this, the roads are pretty narrow. Parking is tight.
Yeah,
and they're fun.
Perfect city vehicle.
Yeah. And I have seen, and I noticed this about a year ago when I was doing one of these videos, there are a lot of electric cargo vans.
Mm-hmm.
So Fiat's got one. Now, I know a lot of them are one van over and over across all the Stellantis brands. But they're still there. Fisker Ocean Extreme.
I've seen 2 Fiskers in the last 4 years. Yeah.
In the wild, I think I've seen about 2.
Yeah.
And Fister is done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah.
Sorry, Henrik, but Mach-E's, I've seen, I want to say 2 or 3 of them as taxis in England and Ireland.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some here too, also in Switzerland. Yeah. Genesis, I've seen because I'm near the Swiss border and this is an expensive vehicle. It doesn't look as expensive as I thought, but I think the luxury variants I saw, the bigger ones, like this one.
And these could be starting at. Those are starting at prices before you put in.
Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, I think they're more expensive than that. It doesn't make sense to me because they were marketed as luxury vehicles here in Switzerland as well. So they had a lot of. But okay.
And Genesis is the luxury brand of
Hyundai.
Great Wall Motors, Aura.
Never seen that.
I've only seen them at a car show, but it was when they'd just come out. The Hongqi. I mean, it's available. I'll say that.
I mean, it looks interesting, but
it makes a statement. But I think what it says is, "I bought a Chinese Range Rover."
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I don't hate it.
Yeah, but it's also a mix, it's a mix between a Bentley and a Range Rover morphed together kind of. Yeah.
And then we got Hyundai.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And a bunch. These are.
Yeah, Hyundais are very popular here. I've also seen that on charging stations a lot. So the Hyundai's Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6 are, especially Ioniq 5, the more square one in front.
Jaguar I-Pace looking better than they used to, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good they are. But again, you've got a Jeep Avenger Electric. We don't get those in the U.S. And Jeep is an American brand. It's got to be a rebadged something. Well, I
Yeah.
can think.
It could be.
Something else from Stellantis. Kia, bunch of Kias.
Yep.
Lexus, fantastic. The Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen one yet?
No.
No, I think the numbers are pretty low. They're looking to partner with Lucid because that's what's going to save both of those companies.
Yeah, sure.
Is partnering with someone who has the same volume as them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Now, we're not going to get through all of them, but I do want to try and find, there were a couple. Lucid?
Yeah.
Have you seen any?
No.
Oh.
Once. Yes, in Switzerland once.
Maserati.
Yeah, I might have, but just the van, the SUV, I think.
The Maxus, which is a Chinese brand. I saw them at Fully Charged. Again, a lot of those Chinese brands
Never seen them.
look like they have compelling products. They just, the fear of a Chinese invasion may have been overstated. Bunch of Mercedes.
Yeah.
Whole bunch.
Yeah, I've seen those because we have a Mercedes dealer near here. So I've seen those.
Mercedes factory all over. This is a Mercedes factory. Not a fan of the styling of the EQE, but it's not.
No,
it's not for me.
Yeah, it's like a soap for me.
Yeah,
it's
bar
like,
of soap.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a bar of soap. The Maybach. That's even soapier than the rest.
So it's not that I hate the design. It's that if that's a Maybach,
No, but to me it looks like a strange Audi morph that lost all of its edges.
208,000 euros.
Yeah, and you get those Fisher Price screens in the back as well.
Yes.
So, have fun. Yeah.
Mercedes Sprinter vans. There's just too many to go through. There is a Rolls Royce in here somewhere, and it's pretty cool around here. Neo. Thank you to all the Neo fans out there who love leaving terrible comments, no matter how good the things are that I say about Neo. They just...
Yeah, I've seen once or twice. I've seen a Neo, I think. But super rare around here. Yeah.
So my question is, are these EVs catching on? Is the wave here? Is it dead? Is it over?
I would say that since the German government and the German car lobbies want to overthrow the decision that the EU made that in 2035 you cannot register an ICE vehicle anymore. They want to overthrow that. And they kind of use this political wave right now that they say, oh, EVs are, they don't work and stuff. Yeah, the EVs from the German brands don't work, but kind of...
EVs don't work. Buy mine and I'll prove it.
Yeah.
Do you see many Polestars?
Yes. Yeah, especially because they are heavily marketed here as well, because also in Switzerland again, because the Swiss are actually early adopters since we are here so near at the border of Switzerland. And they can market that to them because they have a higher median income, for example, and they change their cars more often. Yeah. And they also want to stand out. That's why it cannot be always Tesla. They don't want to see themselves always in a Tesla that's why a Taycan or maybe a Polestar is here as well. Yeah.
How do you pronounce this?
Macan.
Okay. Because I thought
Not
it was
Mackin.
I thought it was a porch making.
Porch
making.
Porch making.
No, porch.
Porch
making.
Yeah.
Macan.
Macan, yeah.
Okay. But
Porsche Macan.
Taycan?
Huh?
Taycan or Taycan?
Taycan.
Yeah, Taycan.
Porsche
So I was like,
Taycan.
is this a Macon? No.
Nein.
It's a Macan. And by the way, some of these colors they've got are fantastic.
Yeah, because...
And they have 20 colors, I think.
Yeah, and you have to think about it this way. When you go to a Porsche dealer and configure this car, it's a process. You have there the whole experience. You get, for example, those previews of how the paint will look like. They have displays of that. You can choose the different colors. And also they make special editions where they choose the coloring. And like, for example, they have like a blue color like this, yellow brakes, and then they have yellow seat belts as well and stuff like this. And the stitching is yellow on the steering wheel as well. So for customization, it's good, but of course this accelerates the price also, like they can.
So when you see 143,000, you should know that that can go up 50 grand.
Yeah, easily. So it's always like Porsche is very fast over 200K if you configure it correctly.
Yeah. Boy, some of those get nice and compact.
Mm-hmm. And the price also.
And 52 kilowatt hour pack in a car that size.
Yeah, the Renault Zoe is also very popular in France especially.
Here's the Rolls Royce.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
The Spectre, yeah.
Now, I looked at the stats on it, and it's not great. It's 0 to 60 is under 5, I think, which is the 0 to 100 kilometer. It's under 5 seconds, I think, but it's slow. It's heavy. It's big. It's comfortable. It's a couch on wheels.
Yeah. So also, if you look at it closely, it resembles also the design of the BMW i9 or i7. I'm not sure.
One of those.
Yeah.
Maybe the i8. I think the i7 was the hybrid.
No, the i8. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. Mm.
And you know what? You're probably right. That's what it is, isn't it?
It is. And yeah, but no, it has just one single door, so there are some slight differences.
Sure.
But also the wheelbase, I think, is a little bit different. It could be you would have to check which one could be the platform it's on actually, but they do some stuff with the suspension that's a little bit different. That's more soft, but in the end, you get a BMW,
which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, and with a better interior, of course, better materials and stuff like this, but still overpriced. Yeah,
right. But at least you get mass production engineering.
Yeah.
Which is where you really need it.
Yeah.
And then the Ceres.
No.
And the Skoda
Enyaq.
Oh, right. I'd get it right.
Yeah, the Skoda Enyaq is actually also pretty popular because people that like VW switch over to Skoda pretty often because it's the same, of course. But the Skoda Enyaq, for example, was also very popular here, but it still doesn't compare with the Model Y from the specs.
For sure.
Yeah. Now we come to an interesting one, the Smart car. The Smart 1 is a special one because it falls out of the category that Mercedes is doing because the Mercedes EQS, because Mercedes owns Smart, for everybody to know that. And the Smart 1 was actually produced with Geely together. Yeah, that's very important to note here. And that's a joint venture of Geely and Mercedes. And this one works.
Okay.
And now they switching over the production or some of the production or some of the R&D kind of, they join venture now with the EQS as well. So that's what they're doing with Geely. So
I wonder if the import tariff problem would come up for this, and I bet it would.
Yeah, that's why Germany will never do that.
Is because
because when Mercedes
Stellantis too has partnerships in China. Okay, Smart number 3. They really came up with some good names. Gotta give them credit for that. The Subaru Solterra, sorry.
Yeah, never saw that.
It's the Toyota BuzzForks, but rebadged.
Yeah.
And then we get into a variety of Teslas.
Yeah.
And there might be something after Tesla. Yeah, there's Volkswagen for sure. Oh, no, Toyota.
Before ZB or whatever.
VinFast.
Never seen that on the road.
I have not seen one on the road either, but I don't get out as much.
ID Buzz.
Yep. And I like the ID Buzz. I like it.
But it's so far off the concept they did. Still, sadly. Yeah.
It doesn't look like this even. This is still.
Yeah.
When you saw it in person, you were like, oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Volkswagen does have quite a lineup, and they're still expanding it. And, of course, the Volvo.
The ID7 is promising because that's a category that people actually like. So.
Okay. And then a bunch of Volvos.
Yeah, the Volvos as well perform pretty good. I mean, the Polestars are loosely based on Volvo, but they kind of separate more and more. Yeah.
And what you're getting there is economies of scale on the motors and the batteries. Because those are both owned by Geely.
Yeah.
And so they're And, the design is still good. The comfort is still good.
Mhm.
There's a guy in my local club in Oregon named Gary who works at Polestar as one of the sales representatives. And he is so knowledgeable. He can tell you, anything.
Mhm.
And you can tell he really loves the cars. A lot of
Mhm.
people who work the booths,
Mhm.
it's just a job.
Mhm.
I've met employees at large electric car companies who are not particularly car people,
Mhm.
let alone EVs.
Mhm.
Okay. Then you've got, of course, the Voya free 106 kilowatt
Oh, that's
hour.
super popular here.
Uh-huh. It's with a name like that. Honestly, it looks great, but you got to work on the naming.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they really
Sell.
sell here.
Yeah.
Not
And-
in Germany, I would say.
No. Xiaopeng, have you seen any of those?
No.
No. I'm sure we will. Maybe not in North America, but and Zeekr.
Zeekr. I've seen some Zeekrs.
Have you?
Once. Yeah, one Zeekr I've seen. I think the Zeekr X could be that I saw. Yeah, I think I saw the Zeekr X once driving by. Yeah.
So the verdict is EVs. Is there a war? Is it over? What's going on?
I would say that the German established brands will still have a good standing here because if people are very brand loyal here still. So I think if people are switching over, then they're just switching over to hybrids because that's a trend that we are seeing right now. Hybrids were sold more and EVs went down a little bit, the numbers. But still, when you look at the sales numbers of the EVs itself, Tesla is still one of the king.
The king.
Yeah.
What I've seen recently in advertising, and it drives me a little crazy, is all these ads for Toyota and other companies that have hybrids, where instead of telling you how great the mileage is, they say, fully charged, this has a range of up to 500, 600 miles.
With the internal combustion.
With the splody juice.
Yeah.
With the dyno burner.
Yeah.
Whirring away.
Yeah.
And that is a direct attack on pure EVs.
Yeah.
With your 18 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's dishonest. It's misleading. It's willfully misleading. I did see an incredibly stupid comment. I love your comments. I really do. But this one, I can't tell. I assume he was clowning. He said that the Tesla Semi will not be made because it uses the same amount of batteries as, guess how many Model Ys? Well, the real number is 7 to 10, depending on the configuration of the Tesla Semi and the Tesla Model Y.
What did he say?
36.
Okay. Sure.
36? Yeah. 36?
How heavy is that thing?
About 35,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Just for the batteries. Yeah. Just for the batteries. So realistically, you can haul...
Pretty long Semi, I would say, if that's the case, yeah.
It's just a big square block.
Yeah. You cannot go around corners or...
36?
Yeah.
You just line them up like fins?
Like a train, yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't need the cooling because it's... Oh, my gosh. 36? It was wonderful.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We will be back. Not today because this has already gone too long. But, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? What do you guys think of these brands? Are EVs dead? Has the war been lost? Should I lean over to kind of block you on a little bit out of camera number 2? But, yeah, let me know. Everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual things. You know what you got to do.
And
check out Tesla Fix.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, or don't do it. But, hey, look at my studio. It's pretty cool. And
definitely do. And he's got fantastic guests. We're always talking about who he's getting on and who he needs to get on because I've made a few phone calls on his behalf, to which no one answers because who answers phones anymore?
Yeah.
But I've placed the calls, so I did my part.
Answering machine?
No, it was it was pretty much just Will from Tesla Jigsaw screaming, "I told you never to call me again."
Yeah.
After that thing you definitely did. And again, Will, I am so sorry. I did not know that was your shoe.
Okay.
So everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, perhaps this weekend in Austria.
See ya.